I'm Martinez. My name is Itzell. And what are we talking about today? Anime, because it's Favorites Friday. And we're on episode 4. And it's the first film we're talking about. It's Kiki's Delivery Service, which I absolutely love. I always have. So if you don't know, it starts off with Kiki, who is 13, and on a witch's 13th birthday, they get to travel by themselves and for a whole year and hone their skills and figure out like what kind of witch they're going to be essentially. Her mom is really, really worried about her because she doesn't have skills other than flying. Her mother, she made potions and helped treat people. So, like a mother does, she can't help but worry. So Kiki goes off with her cat Gigi. They travel together. She flies her broom. They end up getting into a train because like the weather and stuff. They're gonna rest. They fall asleep. Kiki's plan was to live near water, and she finds a town because part of it is you cannot live where a witch is already established. So she had to make sure there are no other witches there. Um, so yeah, she was so excited, but she met she kept hitting walls essentially because she didn't have like her parents with her. She couldn't find a place to live. She had a little bit of money, but not much. So she was just down in the dumps. She went to a bakery and she realized that a mom had dropped her baby's pacifier. She let the bakery owner know that she will give it to her. And she did, and she flew, and the bakery owner couldn't believe it. And she came back with a note, and she gave it to the bakery owner, who is Osono. And the note said, it said, thank you, and that she has a great new delivery girl. And that's when it came to her that Kiki should live there because she couldn't find a place to live. She should work for her. She should make deliveries, but also have her own business, which Kiki does, and help out in this shop when she's able to. And she does that. She has like a little room and she cleans it up. So I know wasn't much help because she was very heavily pregnant, which totally understandable. So Kiki and Gigi make it their own, and Kiki starts getting jobs for deliveries, and she meets a boy. I think it was before she met Asuna. She met a boy that really loved aviation. So seeing a witch, seeing her fly, he didn't help but want to get to know her. She was so standoffish. She didn't want to get to know him. She kind of blew him off, but he was persistent. As she had deliveries, she went to different places and she had different encounters where she met different people. So she had to deliver a present for a client, and it ended up being this bird cage that had a black cat stuffy that looked exactly like her black cat Gigi. Um, and it was really windy that day and they got knocked back and knocked into these birds and they were attacking her. She didn't realize when they were attacking her that they actually got a hold of the stuffed cat, that it had fallen out. So she took the present and had Gigi be very still, and she went back and she got the stuffy, but it was all torn apart. She ran into this woman whose name is Ursula, and she's a painter, and she sewed it up for her. Kiki was over there helping her with chores, scrubbing her floors and stuff, while she was sewing it back up, and she was explaining how it all went down. And she wanted to paint Kiki at some point because she's an artist, and she's like, of course, at some later on, we'll figure it out. Gigi goes back to where she dropped off the present, and the old dog that lives there, he wouldn't let go of Gigi. He stayed with him the entire time. When he had to go to the bathroom, he took Gigi, and Kiki did the swap, and the dog took back the stuffy into the house. And later on, Tombo asked Gigi to go to like this aviation thing with him. Like, it's this club that he's in. They're having like a banquet or something. And she decides, like, reluctantly that she's gonna go. But she has a delivery like within the same time frame, but she's sure she's gonna like get back. But she's so helpful. So what happened was this woman was gonna, this old lady, she was gonna bake a herring pie for her granddaughter's birthday party. Um, but her like oven didn't want to work. Her like electric oven didn't want to work. But she had an old oven, like the old like brick ovens. And Kiki asked her if it worked, and she's like, my mom like has a kind of oven. I would help her all the time. I can help you bake the pie. And she did, but she didn't realize that the clock she was looking at actually didn't work. So she thought she had time, but she didn't. Like, it's not that it didn't work. I think it ran like slower, like 10 or 15 minutes slower than the actual time. So she's like, oh no, I'm gonna be late. So she hurried up and she got the pie there in time, but ended up raining, so she was really, really wet. Um, the girl was like really ungrateful, and I don't know, Kiki, it didn't rub her the right way because she saw how hard her grandmother worked to get this pie to her, and she just could care less. So, yeah. Kiki ended up getting sick. She got a cold, and she wasn't able to go. She was very sad, and I think throughout this journey, because um, she was like seeing things, right? She was seeing like girls her age, and then the pretty clothes that they wore, and all the things they got to do, and she was working, and her clothes weren't as nice, and she was just really down in the dumps. And I'm not sure if she kind of lost herself or lost her motivation, but whatever was going on with her, she ended up losing her powers. I think it's like what they say in a lot of things that have to do with magic, that your magic is tied to your emotions, and her emotions were all out of whack. So as she was recovering and everything, her friend Ursula, like the painter that lived in the woods, came to visit, and she convinces Kiki to go with her, and she goes with her, and I think that's just what she needed, like time away from the city to really like recuperate and really think things through and regain her magic. It was really, really hard for her because she was trying to talk to Gigi, which she could talk to, and they would conversate, but when she lost her abilities, that went away. So it was just kind of refinding herself, like finding herself again, and really getting to know who she is as a person, who she wants to be, what she likes to do, like where she wants her life to go, kind of thing. So she's in a much better headspace when she comes back to her city. And the old woman that baked the pie asked her to come to her house. Like, it was like urgent, like an emergency or something. So she did, and she baked her like a cake, and it said Kiki, and it had her, and it was so cute. It was like a thank you for helping her bake the pie and all like the work that she did extra, because she, remember, she was just a delivery girl. That was all she was supposed to do. Sorry about that. So they're watching the news, and Tombo was able to go. I'm not sure if they called it a dirigible or a blimp, but anyways, he was on one of those, and but something went wrong, and it was like leaning, and it's not supposed to do that. Um, so he was hanging on for dear life, like he was falling out, and she was like, she couldn't believe it. Her nerves were all worked up, and she's like, I need to go. And she left, and she asked an old man if she could borrow like his push broom. And I think she didn't really wait for an answer. She just kind of yanked it from him, and it took some time, but she was able to use her magic and to get it up and going. It wasn't necessarily stable. She kept like bouncing off of things, but it worked well enough to get Tombo to save him and get them gently down. And it was like a big thing, and everyone was so happy and so thrilled and making like such a to do about it, which they should. She just saved a boy. So, yeah, like, and then it cuts to like just like her life there and flying around and her Tombo and like everyone in her life. Like Asuna had her baby. Um and Asuna's husband is real quiet and doesn't really say a lot, but they work. Asuna talks a lot, so it just kind of they mesh well together. But I love it. I've always loved magic, and it's like my go-to. If I'm really upset or I'm really going through a lot, I watch it and it makes me feel better. So let me know what you think, and be sure to give the video a thumbs up and catch me next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.